Welcome to the Path to Purpose, where we share our inspiring stories, how we have found our purpose. Those are unique and universal at the same time. My name is Katja Rosanen, and my intention for this show is to inspire you on your path. And today I'm here with Adri Kyser, who is an international yoga teacher, holistic wellness coach, and intuitive healer. She is the founder and creator of Enlightened Alchemy and Inner Beauty Wellness. So you are up for a treat here. So let's start and dive into Adri's journey. So welcome, Adri. That's a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you and with your community, and I cannot wait to get started and start just chatting about our purpose.
Yes, and that's our purpose during the show. And so let's start where you are right now, and then we can see what brought you, because I know you have quite interesting journey, how you ended up doing what you are doing today. So I just shared the titles, what you are doing, but could you share a little bit more about the work you do today?
Yes, I work with men and women, mostly women, that are ready to improve their health, find spiritual connection, feel more confident, and achieve positive transformations in all aspects of their life. So I like to work with the individual as a whole. And because I have so many years of experience in diverse modalities, I bring all these different techniques and different modalities to help each individual, whether it's at the physical level, emotional level, or spiritual level, begin to kind of release limiting beliefs, energy blocks, so they can really start to live the life they always wanted, to live a life full of meaning and purpose, to live abundantly and healthy, and be excited about sharing their unique gifts and talents. So whether they come to me for a yoga class, or whether they come to me because they want to lose weight, or because they're suffering from pain, whatever the reason is, they come to me, I'm able to then go deeper, if they want to then really work at the physical, mental, and emotional level. So I'm really interested in working with the person as a whole, because that's where long-lasting transformations really begin to take place, rather than just stick a Band-Aid. Rather just be like, okay, take this little shortcut that only is going to last so long. So I really like to infuse all these different modalities in whatever things I do, so the client or the customer gets the best out of all the different aspects of the different modalities, or the different aspects of their own being. So yes.
Yeah. I love that, because we are complete and whole, so we can't take our mind separate and work with the mind, because it's all of us.
Right.
It's the mind, body, spirit. So it's a combination of all, and how they work together. Of course, you can work in one sector, but I love how you said it, working with all the aspects of us at the same time. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Because sometimes, whether, everything has their time and place, and their qualities, right? But sometimes just talking about the problems, so let's say therapy, talking about what's wrong all the time without doing other stuff like moving your body or having a spiritual practice, it's gonna maybe help you for a while, like help you release some of this pain or these problems that you're feeling, helps you to kind of lift the weight off the shoulders. But then when does it become empowering, and when does it begin to become your crutch? Meaning, where are you going to continue to hold on to just talking about problems over and over and over? How can we find a solution if we're only concentrating on the problems? So when we take the holistic approach, yes, there are specific areas that we're going to concentrate on, but also we having other moving pieces around us, so you can really experience health and wellness at the holistic level, at the cellular level, at the emotional level, at the spiritual level. So
beautiful. And just curious about the journey that you took to be who you are today? Because in the beginning of your career, it didn't look like that you're gonna turn out to be a yoga teacher and doing all that. You were walking very different paths. So could you share a little bit of your background? Because I think that's a fascinating story.
Yes, of course. I was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela, and so I'm a Latin girl, and I was going to law school there, but my mom wanted to bring me to the U.S. so I can become fully bilingual and then go back home and finish my degree and my life. But little did I know that my plan was to come to the US for 6 months, but I met my husband and got married. But also something that people don't realize often is that I used to suffer from chronic back pain for over a decade.
Mm.
Um, let me rewind even a little bit more. So growing up in Venezuela, my mom was a hippie at heart. So she was into metaphysics and Ayurveda and yoga and crystals and all these different things. When it wasn't popular, it wasn't cool, it wasn't trendy. So I remember she took me to my first yoga class when I was probably, I don't know, 14 years old, back in the mid 90s. And I hated it because I felt it was a whole bunch of old ladies doing yoga. As a child, she will make us meditate or show us crystals. And I was like, why can't my mom be normal? Like typical kids. And so when the chronic pain became so intense, once I became the caregiver for my grandmother, my husband was traveling a lot, and I have at the time, 1-year-old baby. So I had a lot of stress and the pain was unbearable. So I started to practice yoga. During this period of time, my teacher was moving and I decided she recommended to do teacher training, which I automatically refused right away, because when I first came to the US 22 years ago, I encountered some really hurtful comments about my accent, about being an immigrant. I was put into this category like I was ignorant, an immigrant, and people couldn't understand what I said or stuff like that. So I was so self-conscious, I didn't speak for 3 months in public until one day I realized, it's like, you know what? At least I'm bilingual. At least I know 2 languages. At least I can communicate. So fast forward many years later, when this teacher says, do teacher training, my first instinct was, no, there's no way I can speak in English in front of complete strangers. But again, divine intervention, divine timing, grace, whatever name you want to give it, somehow I end up in teacher training. During this teacher training, one of the teachers told me I wasn't good enough to teach. Something that's a pattern that has repeated in my life, because I also was abused as a child. I was bullied. I was told I wasn't good enough. So to have somebody I was looking up to tell me you're not good enough to teach, it brought me to my knees. And made me cry, but also I think I was raised by very powerful women, like my mom and my grandma, that quitting was not an option. So for me, I cry, I let the stuff out of my system, and then it's like, let me show you. So I became a yoga teacher. I then got additional trainings, but I also was trying to heal myself because of chronic pain. Even though I was doing yoga, the pain was still there. So that's why my real journey began, because I was trying to find different ways to heal myself, because I was determined to not be taking medications for the rest of my life. I was determined to improve the quality of my life. I had a baby, so I had to be full, I had to be whole in order to be the best mom I could be. So then now today, I give thanks for the opportunity of my journey. I give thanks to the back pain, because without the back pain, I wouldn't have taken all the different roads and different healing modalities, and I wouldn't have the compassion and understanding that I have because of it. So do I want the pain back? No. But do I regret having it? Absolutely no, because it gave me the tools what I needed, and it helped me to bring to the surface what was the root cause of my physical pain, which was emotional. It was dealing with I had to deal with the abuse. I had to deal with these feelings of not being good enough, and the limiting beliefs and the energy blocks that all that created. And once I was able to clear that and heal that, everything kind of opened up and blossomed. So yes, I didn't become a yoga teacher. So I didn't become a lawyer, but I became a yoga teacher. So my intention has always been to make a positive difference in people's life. I wanted to really make the wrongs right. So I didn't do it in the courtroom, but I'm doing it on the mat. I'm doing it one phone call at a time. I'm doing it one breath at a time. I'm doing it one program at a time. So it's been amazing.
Wow, what a journey. And thank you so much for sharing also one part is the physical pain, but then you saw also the emotional pain when somebody's telling you you're not good enough. And we kind of, especially when it's growing up, then we kind of embody that. And then you kind of had to face that again. Somebody who you looked at and saying, no, you're not good enough. And you already had the doubt in your mind with the accent, how can I be that?
Right.
And then you were still like, okay, I show you. You kind of challenged yourself, I'm doing this. And sometimes that is exactly like, it's the inner challenge. It's not coming outside. It's just, okay, I'm taking a step forward and checking what's there. I feel the calling and I am doing this for me, first of all, and then for the others around.
Yeah, that's the key. When you mention, I feel the calling, for me was something higher and greater. I cannot put it into words, but it was something that I knew I needed to do. I was meant to do. And just to put into perspective, there are times in our life where we experience similar sins over and over until we learn the lesson and we're able to heal the pattern. So when this person, it was a family member, a woman, an older woman that I looked up to, abused me and beat me up and told me I wasn't good enough, that pattern kept repeating in other forms until I was able to heal, to bring it to the surface, because I wasn't thinking about the abuse all the time. It wasn't something that I thought every day about, but it was in the subconscious. It was obviously causing problems physically for me as well. So once I was able to bring that to the surface and heal it, that pattern began to shift. But also it had to come from within myself, because I had the choice to be a victim and be like, poor me, this is why I'm never going to get to X, Y, and Z. Or it can be like, you know what, I am here for a reason. I'm answering the call. I'm stepping into my full power. And that's the difference, because many people can be dating the same guy just with different names, right? Or they're having the same situations in the different jobs, but it's the same job in different locations. So that's part of what it means to really answer the call and notice what some of those limiting beliefs and what are some of those deep hurts and what are some of those blockages or some of these patterns that are already sometimes even our learned behaviors from our ancestors, right? Not even ours, but it's something that we picked up. So once we begin to recognize that, we're able to then be like, you know what, I see it, but now I take charge and I'm gonna do this because this is part of my purpose. This is part of my calling. So answering the call, answering to that purpose is the number one key to anything. Having that drive, the desire to be like, I deserve more, I want more, then I'm gonna get it.
That's lovely, because that is the engine there going. And many times, like you mentioned, these patterns that we have, that they keep repeating. And that's part of that is the karma. And the universe, how I say it always, like, universe is very abundant. It gives us opportunity to learn the lesson over and over again. And of course, from the human part of us, it is challenging, like having those go to true challenge after challenge, but it is for us. Things are happening for us.
Yes.
So we can learn from them and then
Yes.
overcome them. So that's part of the journey. So when you think about your journey that you shared, and I know there is much more as well there, but what has been the biggest learning that you have received from your journey so far?
That In my case, that I never knew how strong I was until being strong was my only option, and that applies to everybody. I'm not superhuman. I'm just like you, like the person next door, like everybody else. So my journey taught me that obstacles come into our lives to teach us lessons, and they can be opportunities if we choose to see them that way, right? So life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So recognizing, as I mentioned before, that journey that I had of chronic back pain for over a decade, there were times I couldn't even walk. I had to be catered to because it was so painful, but not letting that stop me from taking charge of my health, not letting that stop me from wanting more out of life. So my journey taught me that sometimes we make plans and things may not go 100% the way we want it, but we're always divinely guided if that's what we choose to do. But also no letting obstacles, again, like I said, we perceive them as obstacles. So sometimes, most of the time, they're lessons, they're opportunities, they're hidden gems, right? So seeing those obstacles as opportunity to show you how strong you are and how overcoming them, it's going to take you to a whole different level, never thought possible. You're going to come out of it stronger, wiser, more resilient, smarter, I don't know. Think of all the positive attributes you can add to it.
Whatever works for you, Adri.
Right.
So I know you have helped hundreds of women worldwide. So what are the main reasons why people come to you? If you can share some of them. So if somebody's now watching this and like, is this for me? So could you just share some of the main reasons why people come to you?
Sure. Many people, especially the women I have worked with and continue to work with, many of them, they feel like they need more out of life. They want to be more than just a mom, just a wife, or just more than just the title they have. And they are, let me give you a couple of examples. Some of them are experiencing some type of pain. So they know my journey of my pain of overcoming, being told I wasn't good enough, to being abused, to leaving my country, to having an accident, being self-conscious about my accident. So many of these women have some belief system. They feel like they're stuck. They feel like they're where it shows up in the form of holding on to weight, or having financial problems, or having physical health, or whatever it is. So the women that come to me are ready to really take charge of their holistic, the whole wellness, meaning at the physical level, emotional level, and spiritual level. Many of them are wanting to learn how to awaken to their intuition, how to build a sense of confidence, how to find their voice. Because part of what I didn't say in my story before is, well, I mentioned it, but is that imagine this person that didn't speak in public for 3 months, right? That is so self-conscious about the way she sounds, that eventually not only she's teaching yoga in front of a whole bunch of strangers in English, which is not my mother tongue, but they're also traveling the world to teach, right? So somebody that was disempowered, that felt inadequate, that felt like it didn't belong, because I wanted to fit in. That's the other thing. I lost all my friends. All of them were stay behind in my country. So sometimes these women that come to me feel exactly the same way, inadequate, like they don't belong, that they're different, they lost their voice or power, they have low self-esteem, so they want to really now heal themselves at the cellular level, at the emotional level, so they can begin to open up to the doors of possibilities. So a lot of these women come from the yoga background because they want to learn or they want to improve their health through yoga. But then from there, they go deeper, and I have other women that come to me because they have pain, or they want to lose weight, or they simply they want to feel like they're not alone. They want to feel supported, and they want to have somebody to hold them accountable, but somebody that also understands what it feels like to be where they are, because they can see themselves reflected in myself. They hear about my story and be like, oh, I'm no different. I'm not the only one. I can see she did that. I want to help to get there too. So
yeah, you're like example, it's possible. It's
yes,
possible to break through those blocks. And now
absolutely.
I know like the best way to break through those blocks is contact you. But if somebody's now like listening, and so what would be then the first step you could share them, like, okay, contact Adri, first step. But how could they start the journey on their own?
Yeah, so I would start saying, if find the area of your life that you really want to change. So let's say you want to improve, you want to find your soulmate, or you want to improve your relationship with your partner, or you're looking for a husband or boyfriend or whatever. So begin to find those areas in your life that you're seeing patterns, like I've mentioned before, you're dating the same guy, just different face. And sometimes the universe has a sense of humor. It sends you the same name. You're dating David, 3 Davids in a row, So, but oftentimes we have blinders, right? We only see what we want to see. And sometimes we don't even know we're carrying certain stuff. So one of the things that I intuitively get is like, get off the comparison train. And I did a live recently about that. Especially women, we tend to compare ourselves, right? Oh, I'm not good enough because, look, I cannot do X, Y, and Z, but that person can, or whatever. So we start to compare ourselves. And when we compare ourselves, that's the number one killer of joy. And when you're not having fun, when you're not enjoying what you're doing, when you have joy in your heart, everything else is dreadful, right? It's almost like the sky is gray. Every day is gray. When you find joy in your life, there's color, there's happiness. So when you're starting your personal journey, make the determination of what areas of your life you want to change, and pay attention to the patterns that are coming up, that are repeating themselves, and also stop comparing yourself. But then the main thing is, the step number one is, most of it is recognize the area you want to change and then take action. Because if we can pray, we can hope, we can wish all we want. I want this to change. I want this to change. But if you don't do anything about it, nothing is going to change, right? I see it all the time with clients that come to me because they have money blocks. They have blockages to abundance, and the number one thing the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, I don't have enough money, so I cannot do this and this and that. But when they want help, they're not willing to invest the money. So it's a catch-22, it's like a circle. It's like, I don't have the money, but I want to change this, but I also don't want to make any investments on myself to help me change it. So just to rewind and to anchor the question again is, what are some of the things that you can do if you want to start making a change right away? If you cannot contact a coach or somebody you can work with, is recognize the area of your life you want to change. Figure out what are some of the patterns that are coming up for you, how you can change them, and then take action. Because if without action, nothing can change. And the more you start comparing yourself to where you are and how it should be, the worse it's gonna get. Because again, comparison is a killer of joy. And that also goes to show you that when you compare yourself and you feel negative and you feel like whatever, all these things are coming to everybody's mind, is that sensation, those feelings, has nothing to do with that person you're comparing yourself to. You might be looking in social media and you see this person just make their six-figure month or whatever, or they just bought a brand new car or a brand new home, or got the job of their dreams, or they're traveling the world. They're doing their thing. But when you saw that, it triggered you, right? So it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. So when you take ownership of that, when you say, okay, this is triggering me. Why is it triggering me? What is this area of my life I want to change? How can I change it? And then take actions. I promise you, the results are going to be so worth it. It may not be easy, but the work you put in is going to be so worth it. And because sometimes we have these blinders, then you're only going to be able to get so far along and then you're gonna have to have help, just like pro athletes, just like, you know, yeah, pro athletes or anybody that goes to the Olympics, or football players, baseball players, whatever, professional bankers, even doctors, they all have a support system. Coaches have coaches, right? Athletes have coaches, because they're only going to get so far on their own, and then they're going to have somebody there in their corner making them go the extra mile. Doesn't mean that you cannot do your personal work. Absolutely, you're in charge of your personal work, but there are times when you're going to need somebody to push you a little farther, to go the extra mile, to make you get up at 5:30 in the morning when you don't want to get up to go and exercise, you know, or whatever your thing is. So that's the number one thing I will say. Pay attention to the area you want to change, take action.
Yeah, I love that, because the action is needed, and that is like, pay attention, be aware about that, what you want to change, and then how can you start changing it, what action can you take, because that is so needed. Sometimes we just want to manifest everything, but sometimes, yes, we can, it's there waiting for us, but we need to take the action to get it.
Right. The law of attraction and to manifesting doesn't mean just to pray and pray about it. If you don't do anything, it just stays there in the ether, right? So you have to do something. I can pray about a new job, but if I don't start looking for a new job, how am I going to get a new job? You know what I mean? Or even if I not physically looking for a job, but if I tell you, hey, if you find somebody that needs help with X, Y, and Z, let me know. So you have to take some action, right? To then let the universe assist you with your desire. But without action, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So now, if people would like to take action and start working with you, how can they reach you? How can they find you?
They can go to my website, is Adri Kyser, that's ADRIKYSER.com. I'm in social media as well, same name, so they can find me there. That will be the easiest way, my website and social media.
Yeah,
and
I
also
put it on the comments on the below.
perfect. And to everyone listening right now, I would love to gift you guys with a wonderful PDF I give my clients, and it's all about overcoming limiting beliefs. So whether it's financial abundance that you want to manifest in your life, whether it's your soulmate, whether it's having the job of your dreams, whether it's being part of a community, whatever it is that you want, in order to get there, we need to start to pay attention to some of those limiting beliefs so you can heal them, right? We cannot find a solution with the same mindset that is a problem. So I want to give you access to the PDF, because I really feel that my purpose here is to make a difference. I want to help people. I know the limiting beliefs I have. And if I didn't heal them, I wouldn't be here with you guys today. If I didn't do my work that I needed to do, my personal work, I wouldn't be able to turn it around and use my experiences to then to create alchemy in everybody else's lives, right? So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. She will put a link below so you can access the beautiful PDF. And I just want to hear what you have to say, how the PDF helped you. And if you need any help or you have questions or comments, just feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we'll be happy to help.
Wow, thank you so much for gifting that PDF. I definitely put it on the comments below so people can start their journey. And it was such a pleasure to have you here, sharing your journey, sharing your wisdom. I just love your positive energy. I feel like I got recharge of my own energy just talking here with you. So hopefully also all of you who listened got the part of that energy, part of the joy. I can see that joy in you, Adri. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. Oops, sorry, my microphone. Thank you so much, guys, for everybody, for listening, for tuning in. And it's been my honor and pleasure to be in your presence. And thank you for having me and providing me with this opportunity. So namaste.
Namaste, and keep watching The Path to Purpose. Subscribe to this channel so you get updates when new videos are on. And I'm sending you loads of love and light. Stay well and stay blessed. Bye for now.
Bye.